everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of I've Been Playing. This week, we're talking about the collectathon body horror / comedy known as Bugsnax. Now, you may not be aware of, or possibly intentionally repressed memories of, Bugsnax, but it was revealed, I believe, last year, and it is the PS5 launch title as well as being on the PS4 and PC. Even though it is a launch game, I feel like it was kind of overshadowed by a bunch of the other stuff that was happening. Mainly, the console launch itself and all of the mess that turned into. Or, like I said, maybe a bunch of people repressed the memories because of the body horror I've previously mentioned. But it's the game that has animals that are part bug and part snack, and over the course of the game you're tasked with... well, it's complicated. Remember, as always, if you want to skip specific plot points and are just here for a review in general and my impressions of the game, I will leave a timestamp both in the description and in the comments below for you to skip forward to see my thoughts. You start out the game as you're making your way to Snacktooth Island after having been summoned by Lizbert, who is an adventurer of sorts. You yourself are a journalist, and it seems like you specialize in like cryptid stories, or at the very least conspiracy theories, or something like that, something along those lines. Once you land, well, crash really, because you're slammed into by a giant flying pizza. Yes, really. You meet Philbo, who tells you all about Bugsnax, and wants you to get everyone back together in Staxburg, the town they've built, because apparently Lizbert is missing, and after a massive fight, everyone else kind of went their separate ways. And that, ostensibly, is the plot. But there's so much more going on, and that doesn't even factor in the Bugsnax themselves. Bugsnax, as I said, are part bug and part snack, hence the name, and a lot of the time they're the way you persuade the Grumpuses, that's what the characters in this are called, they're known as Grumpuses, to come back to the town. And the way you do that is you feed them whatever Bugsnax they ask for, whole and raw. And then it changes part of their bodies into something resembling what they ate. So you'll see why I specified body horror instead of just horror in general when I started this review. And you can feed them, most of them, other things as well, other Bugsnax. It's just that a lot of the time they'll have specific ones they want to eat to progress the story. You can end up fully changing them into like Bugsnax creatures, kind of, and you get some frankly horrifying looking things. Like, it's mostly all horrifying. Body horror, as I said, you're transforming limbs into food, and it's weird, but if you change the entire Grumpus, it's just an extra level of weird. And weirdly, despite all this, the game is kind of cute, but there's also a lot of stuff that makes it very obvious that it's not necessarily a game for kids. Certainly not kids who are not fans of scary stuff. There's a lot of scary stuff going on, and I don't know that I personally would fully classify it as a horror game, but it is definitely horror adjacent. And as I've mentioned, the body horror. There's a lot of creepy atmosphere, and that ending, boy, let me tell you, I'm not gonna spoil it. That is not something I want to spoil or anybody should spoil for anybody else, but it is something else, let me tell you. As well as a lot of like weirdly, there are relationship problems. There's a lot of fighting, a lot of feelings, a lot of innuendo, and a lot of weirdly dark humor. All of which is right up my alley if I'm being honest. But I feel like a lot of people might think it's just a cute, like almost pseudo Pokemon, and it's just not. There's a lot in here that you are not going to be prepared for as you're playing. Overall, I definitely enjoyed it a lot. I think the main testament to this is that I finished almost the entire game in one day. It took me about 12 to 13 hours total, I think, but I was also going for all the trophies. I feel like you could do it easily in a standard 8 hours or so if you weren't, but the game is fun enough and mostly easy enough that I feel like many people who feel compelled to finish it completely will also finish it completely and finish all the trophies as well, or achievements, I guess, if you're playing it on PC. The Bugsnax are a lot of fun to tag and find, especially since they all have fun names and unique ways to catch them, as well as a lot of the time they're related to the environment you find them in. So the hot and spicy bugs will be out in the desert area, the cold ice cream and dessert themed bugs will be in the cold, things like that. And the characters are all stereotypes, sure, but still manage to be unique and have nice depth to them as you go along, especially if you make sure to do all the other side quests. I think the main thing that annoyed me sometimes is that I feel like the tutorials were for some of the items a bit lacking. There are often times when you need to use 2 or sometimes even 3 of your Bugsnax hunting devices in order to snag specific snacks, and often it's not clear that it's possible. I understand and appreciate that it is part puzzle game, and that's why it doesn't say it outright, but it would have taken me forever to figure out that the items worked that way in that order sometimes if I hadn't checked it online for time's sake. Otherwise, honestly, if you can stand or at least get past the utter weirdness of this game's whole deal, it's a lot of fun and was really intriguing to puzzle through and just to play around in. It's available, as I said, on PS4 and PS5 as well as PC, and it was only $25, so it's definitely worth at least a look if this has made you at all interested in it. Thank you for joining me this week. Let me know if you've played Bugsnax yourself in the comments below, or if not, if you think you'll check it out. Or is it just too plain weird for you? Because trust me, that's understandable. Like this video if you enjoyed it, and be sure to subscribe for new episodes of this every Monday. See ya!